Alright, let's get this going. This is Dave. I'm doing some virtual co-working. Technically, I'm doing some, let me turn this down. Technically, I'm doing some work on some educational software. There's the band. We're listening to NPR in the background. Just to add a little bit of noise. It's Labor Day. I don't have anything planned, so I'm just working, trying to get ahead of the week. The goal is to get some of this really, really boring video work done. I mean, this is so boring that for me not to fall asleep every 30 minutes, I'm gonna try streaming my way through it. So, technically, you'll see a lot of really boring Node.js stuff, some on-the-fly thinking, and who knows. I also just set up a new mode on my switcher here. So we get the camera over here. So here over on Oxcam, let's drop this thing down. So in here is this is my scene switcher controller, which is a MIDI controller that I've labeled. This will be using, I'm using some software on my Mac called ControllerMate to assign these to various macros. And so I just added this one. I press it. Now there is a split screen view, so I can see what's going on here. And so like when I'm drawing on this diagram, I can actually see, and then you can see what's actually on my screen. So that's exciting. I was missing this mode for a long time. But let's get this show on the road. What time is it? First thing to do is just to set up my timesheet. Let me just make sure that I'm actually getting audio out of this. Looks like we are. So that's good. Here is my worksheet. Everything is all set up, I guess. So, what time is it now? It's 3:08 or so. 3:08. So I'm going to set my timesheet as starting at 3:15. 15:15. Review code for teacher app. Okay, so what I'm working on specifically at the moment. Oh, crap. I keep forgetting that if I don't, this doesn't have focus, it doesn't switch. I should add something like that, some sort of cursor check. But anyway, what was I doing? Alright, so over here on the left side of the screen, we have a controller that's over here. If I load a session, these controls pop up, and the simulation freezes here. So if I play resume, this is actually pulling data out. And if I look over here on in the terminal down here, I see like various output that's occurring. So actually I'm going to terminate this output here because I don't think I need this console. I'm also trying out an editor called Visual Studio Code, which several people that I know have been using it. I was not particularly a fan of it when I looked at it before, but I was looking at it again. It seems to have better code refactoring. So if I wanted to rename something, it seems to do a better job of searching all the files and change it. And so I'm dealing with this fairly large oh, I didn't have the built-in mic going. It has a fairly large file project. There's at least several hundred files in it. Maybe a couple hundred. So anyway, I'm going to go to here, cd dev, cd play, cd build, gulp. Go running the task runner, which is going to bring this thing back up. Let's set up this desktop so it's working as expected. So one interesting thing about Visual Studio Code is it has all these integrated features in it that are seem better integrated than they do in Sublime Text, which is the text editor I usually use. Okay, so now we've got this going, and I need to relaunch all these things. Now the server is running here. You can see it in the window on the bottom left side. And now I need to refresh these apps. So what do we got going on? Just started streaming. Doing boring video work. Maybe in a couple hours. Just talking to my boss on this. Since this is a NSF grant software, I think it's okay to stream this. No one's told me not to. All this code will be public domain anyway. Let me see. Now we have video errors, but that's okay. So what am I doing? I forgot. I should start writing the stuff down. So on the right side here, I'm going to make a list of questions that I'm doing. So the first question is, given this, all right. So all these controls here are dependent on the status of something called the recorder system. The recorder system is 4 separate modules because there's a client side and there's a server side. And the main module is, well actually, is that right? There's 4 main modules to the subsystem, and then there's two additional applications that talk to it. The one on the right here is the actual simulation that's running. That's controlled by this app here, so you can like select various modes and stuff like this. So like this app ordinarily runs on an iPad Pro on the network, not on the same machine, and this app is running on a piece of a Macintosh that's projecting to a giant screen that also has input from a motion tracking system, which I'm not using right now. So these themselves have a few modules that have to talk to the other module. So, and on top of that, each of the subsystems has several other small subsystems that they talk to. So that's why I had to make this diagram, which is describes how it works at a high level. So when I start recording, it does this, and when it stops recording, or during recording, these messages are being passed around. When I stop recording, then these things happen. So it's this took several days just to put together and condense it down to one sheet that I could actually look at it and use it to plan the next round of changes. So let's see. Let's go back to the screen. Oops, that's the screen. Alright, I wrote the question down. Or I started to write the question down here. The question is, how does this record button thing work? I mean, I'm wondering if the states, how does this manage state? How does teacher app manage record state? And the reason why that's important is because I suspect there's bugs with it. The ultimate goal here, the goal is synchronized, synced simulation plus video playback and scrubbing. So for that we need the duration of the session, and I need to figure out where to get from. I need to know the current playback position. and then you know where to get that from. Then I also need to be aware of the modes. Current mode. Get from, this is for feedback. Then they have the UI, have UI buttons respond accordingly. And that's the React part of it. So I'm not familiar with the React portion of this, since I mostly do the back-end system stuff. So let's take a look at what that looks like. So here I am in Visual Studio Code. Here are my notes. I don't know if this font is too small to read. I could probably increase the size. Let's see. Just set some of these things. Set this to 14 and see if it's any better. That's maybe a little better. Not particularly good for me, but might be a little bit easier for people to read anyway. Let me see what it looks like over here. Let me bignify this. I'm looking at full screen over on the PC over here, just to see what it looks like. That's legible if you're on full screen. Actually, it doesn't look too bad. Oh. Is my nail polish coat will come out? I'm trying some different colors. Alright, so that'll work. Let's see, let me go back. I need to find my cursor again. Alright, so from what I remember, I need to actually, what did I just do? So I need to load the file. What is this called again? Playback. According to this document I made, it's teacher app record button JSX. There's two of them. That one's the public file. Okay, so there's record button JSX. This is imported by someone else though. Who? That's imported by, it's in one of the game run files. So it's probably game run, well, no, teacher app. I actually probably should make a diagram of what all the UI stuff is too. Because it's one of those things where everything is modular but so deeply nested, unless you're familiar with it, you don't know what's going on. So maybe I'll just do that. So let's start with the game run.js from, let me close all these things. Why is everything open? So modules, we don't need that open. We did need that open. 1401 games. It's particles teacher, game run.js. Oh, that's weird. Just close my other file. What good was that? Record button JSX. How do I make this actually, okay, I double click it too, so it doesn't go away. So game run.js, let's look for the render function. This is, and let's make a, that's weird. So I'm gonna make a diagram so I just know where the hell everything is. So in game run.js, there should be a render function. This render function creates something called particle teacher. And yeah, so particle teacher, particles teacher contains what? Can I just open it like this? I wonder if it knows. Particles teacher JSX. And what does this have in it? Its render function returns a bunch of stuff. The ones that matter look like simulation control and playback control. Seems perfectly okay. So let's take a look at simulation control. Simulation control. Why is, oh, okay, these are B's. We want, oh, there's two modules named the same thing? Which one do I want? This is in public, this one's in, okay. No, the other one's a transpod one. Okay, now we're getting somewhere. So now we have inside of this more bootstrap stuff. This is sim control I was looking in. We have control, panel controls. That's on the left side, and then we have common controls. And then underneath of that we have I'm not going to try to duplicate the layout. We have button groups, we have toggle button drawing, we have toggle button, is this the right? Yeah, toggle button, custom button. What is that supposed to be? Toggle permission button. Controls permission custom button. Toggle permission custom button. I don't know what that is. Custom button. We also have, how many toggle buttons are there? One. We have a few. We have oops. Two. Custom button, state slider. Ugh. Then there is graph slider. Then we have speed slider. These are all buttons. Snowman slider. Then we have costume controls. Then we have text inputs. Maybe I don't need any of these. But we'll just do it for completion. Text input. The first one is min decay rate. Let's duplicate this a few times. So I'm hoping this saves me some time. At least it'll prevent me from getting too lost and just navigating as I'm trying to figure out how stuff works. So we have, after min decay rate, we have liquid to solid, and then we have solid to gas, and then we have is that how you spell hysteresis? Hysteresis. There's a select box too. So we have a select box. Can't type today. Select box. Algorithm. And then we have a bunch more text inputs, 3 of them it looks like. And these are min liquid, min gas, and average MS window. Space this out a bit. Let's make some room here. Just make sure that this is right. So, control, these are both things. Costume controls is another. And then all the rest of these are just regular. Put these dot dots there so I know that these are nested ones. So let's look at playback control now. I can hold JSX. Again, looks like we have two of them. One's these teacher, one's in modules. Let's look at the render routine and playback control. What do we got? We have it's render. We have game playback. And we have common controls. So that's, and then we have sessions and student work. And that looks like all of those. So some of these divided left, right. That's interesting. So let's go and take a look at control panel controls. Control panel controls JSX. It looks like it's a custom module. So this is only for particles teachers, so we have a whole bunch of crap here. A bunch of select boxes. Control panel controls. Oops. Let's see. Select box. How many are there? We have two. And then we have one of these buttons. These are not components. Alright, these call things. We have three buttons. Button. Why did I even bother with these brackets? I'm gonna get rid of them. Just make it harder to type. It's better. Button, this button. We'll fill those in. There's three of those. And then there's another one. There's another toggle button. Callable button. How many of those? There's three of those. Then there's another toggle, three more of those. Some of this looks like these are part of the same form group. So there's 6 of those. Then there's another one. Then there's a range input. And there's 5 of those. And then there's another 2 range inputs. So these two, this is video opacity. And this one is background opacity. This one's right wand temp. Left wand temp. General wand temp. ambient temp, AC count, gas only, liquid only, solid only, high only, medium only, low only, left label, label particle difference, label particle energy, label particle speed, show state meter, show bonds, I'm lost. The webcam. And then what are these buttons? These are not labeled. Why are these not buttons? These are buttons. Erase drawings. Erase custom buttons. Oh, that's what the button. Custom buttons are artsy things. Reset game. I see the label now. Reset game. Erase custom buttons. Erase drawings. And then above this, what do we have? These are late activity and background. Alright, so that's done. I don't need that anymore. Now, command controls, what we got in here? Command controls, yes. These are a shared. What do we got in this? We have command controls. Well, we have returning plotting controls. Plotting controls. And then we have a toggle button. Activate student. We have a record button. I need to dig into that. Then we have two more toggle buttons. Is this auto complete for me? Toggle button, pause timer. Toggle button, start, stop, acquire, pose. This is pause timer and resume timer. This one's activate student / lock student. I probably should go back to those other toggle buttons now and make sure that I get both the both labels here. The record button's a whole new thing. That's everything there. Let's go back to whatever this is. Control panel controls. Panel controls JSX. this, and these toggle buttons. We don't have the same same toggling. It says implemented differently. That's weird. So that's a different style. So there's a label. There's on toggle webcam. Toggle webcam is a whole different thing. What is that? There's a bunch of constants. What is this? Is it loaded here? Toggle button. Where are these defined? Oh. Oh, okay, it's the destructuring out of the props. So this must be passed down from whoever owns this. Where is that being loaded though? This is one of those ridiculous Redux things, isn't it? Or React things. Which you can't see where it's connecting from. Where is this? So toggle webcam is on toggle. What does this syntax mean again? Does this mean it's looking for something? I'm not that familiar with React, so this is... I assume this was some sort of function thing, but... So let's see, this is in control panel controls. This is under simulation control. Let's look back at simulation control and see what the deal is with that. So in simulation control, is it actually assigning something to these props? Or is this a Redux thing that's happening? What is all this crap? Props are passed down from whoever calls this, so maybe it's happening in particles teachers. It's the right module. Locked is this props. Who's loading the props? Maps, is it happening here? Find action creators. Actions creators. Maybe this is where all is. Toggle. Okay, maybe this. Okay, so. Oh, that's interesting. The action creators are what are. Okay. Yeah, that's actually interesting. Let me make a note up here. The action creators. Action creators. Yes. Has a bunch of are used by Redux. That are referred to within the would like this to word wrap. Component code as toggle webcam on event. It somehow maps it. Somehow maps it to the React components, props. Maybe that's what that weird call is. So where was it? The map state to props. Map dispatch to props. I don't understand what this is doing here. It's something I'll have to research at some point. Anyway, I'm not going to worry about it. So under costume controls, did we do everything yet? Now we need to go find plotting controls. Plotting controls, this is in particles teachers component. I guess the plots are different here. What's all this stuff? Create class. Oh, this is the charinator stuff. What is this? Why is this happening? Good Lord. This is like someone's inheritance thing? That's weird. So this plotting... Oh. Alright, so this works different. Why is this set up like this? This is like the JSX less version of it. No wait, oh I loaded the wrong file. This is the... I loaded the transpiled version. That was interesting to see. I need to load the JSX file, so I need this file. That's better. Oh, that was intriguing to see. So over here in render, what do we got? We have... Why is this being here? Hopefully this gets only defined once, though. 5. And you see, since render gets called every time the control changes, I don't see why this block is inside this function. Because unless this has to be destructured each time. But it doesn't look like it has to be. This stuff looks like it should be out somewhere else. But I don't know. It looks just a bunch of constants. Maybe the compiler is smart enough to optimize that out so it doesn't cost any time. So anyway, we're plotting controls, and over on the plotting controls side of things, what do we have in here? We have a select box. And we've got 3 of them. It looks like that's it. What is this one? Options is equal to... Okay, so I can look... This is the scatter chartinators. I just lost my place here. There it is. Scatter. So this is not exactly what the code is doing, but I'm just making a note here. Stacked chartinators. And this last one is... actually has a label. Quantize? What does that do? No idea. Alright, so now left is... record button we already have. That was the first one I was looking at. And all this does is has a toggle button. Start recording. Stop recording. And I think that's the whole thing. Then what else we have here? Why do I have this dot dot here? Let's go look back in common controls and see if make sure I didn't make that. Screw that up. So we had chord button, toggle button, toggle button. Oh, we are missing some stuff. We're missing these. So we had toggle button, pause timer, start, stop, acquire pose. Where did that go? How come I don't see it here? Pause timer, okay, start, stop, or start, acquire, I screwed this up. Start, acquire pose. And the other one's stop, acquire pose. But then below that we have two more. We have a button, save student drawings. We have a button, capture what? Capture a screenshot. I think that's the entire thing. That's in common controls. Put these dashes here. These are all common controls. Let's see. We haven't seen costume controls yet. Just like putting markers in here so I can get a continuous block of text and be able to, what happened? Oh, I hit tab. I somehow lost the, something weird happened. Must be some keyboard shortcut for shrinking that I hit by accident. Common controls. This is all under control panel controls. Common controls. Costume controls. Costume controls, JSX. What do we have in here? It's interesting. There's a bunch of image costume stuff. Costume buttons is an array that's mapped to a costume list. This is a function. Button class is push. Well, this makes a whole bunch of costume buttons. I think that's it. That's a grid array of costume costume buttons are what? Costume images? Hell yeah, they're signing the on click. Costume. Clickable costume images. Then, okay, so now we're going to go back to playback control. Let's see. Get game playback. We need to load that. So in the game playback we have what? This is all these are the controls I actually want. Ugh. We have button and start. We have button 1, 2, 4. There's 2 toggle buttons then. Wait, one. So we have 1 on rewind. This is rewind 10 seconds. Rewind 5 seconds. Rewind 1 second. Then we have 2 other kinds. We have button to sim. I think that gets rewritten though. Oh wait, no, that's not true. What's going on? Oh, I see what's going on. Or toggle button, play, stop. Then after that there's another button, toggle button, resume / pause. Then we have 4 more buttons. And this is called fast forward. 1, 2, 3, 4. And this is fast forward 1 second. 5 seconds and 10 seconds. Then we're back to common controls, which I think we already had up here. Oh, maybe not. I wonder if those are the same. This was in file, simulate common controls, playback control. Yeah, it's a, oops. So in playback control, common controls here is step components, common controls. And that should be the same. Let's just make sure it's the same one. under simulation control. Common controls. Yep, this is the same one. This should make where these are located, subcomponents. So we're all inside here. That makes sense. Why would you have these controls in this side of things? That makes no sense. Playback control shouldn't have this. Unless I screwed this up somehow. Let's see. Comment controls, JSX. Activate student. Huh. Did I mess this up? So under playback control, common controls, this is step components common controls. And then in simulation control, common controls are step components common controls. Well, it is the same one. Maybe it's checking something. Oh wait, this is doing something weird. Maybe just hide it. Let's take a look at the... Alright, so... Oh wait. I think I screwed this up. So we had simulation control. Let me go back to the beginning again. This is a pain in the ass. The top level one is particles teacher. Simulation control and playback control. And simulation control has control panel controls, common controls, and then it has a bunch of these toggle buttons. It has common controls. Where am I being confused? Common controls of all this stuff. This is all on the simulation control side of things. And then on playback control, this is where I'm looking at now. This is a different tab. Oh, is this how? Maybe it's. Oh, okay, it does have the common controls. That must be this. Why does it draw from different? I thought these were different at first because like there's this weird jump that happens. Alright, so then the session stuff must change. Alright, so that's not mysterious. So in common controls, we have all this stuff. Step components. And then sessions and student work, that's the last one. So far, I'm finding this actually kind of a nice editor. Sessions and student work. What do we got in here? Where's render? We have what? A button group. We have a button. Oh, this is like a list of. It's a table. That's a button. User name. Info about session. Looks like there's several overlays. Overlay of sessions. What is this called? Oh, these are what are these called? Tab. Session nodes. This is another tab. So sessions, overlays, student plots, screenshots. Sessions, overlays, student plots, screenshots. Where is this happening? Oh wait, manage sessions. Manage overlays, student plots, and manage screenshots. And that is the user interface. This I want to save somewhere. Let's call this UI. I can't select all. UI hierarchy. Let's make some indicators here. It would be. Alright, so now I have a pretty good outline of where stuff is, and then I guess where it goes. So let me make a quick reference for this. What I'll do is I'll just dump this into Illustrator. I'm gonna start running this, so where's Illustrator? it crash? Oh, there it goes. Whoa. So let's grab this and make a copy of this. So I have all these styles to find in it already. Save a copy. Actually, I don't even know where this is saved. This is UI outline. UI components. Now, the reason why I'm doing this is because I want to keep these formats. I have these styles to find already. Just move this stuff off the side. Let's move this aside. So the first thing I'll do is just paste in. So we have the left side. Equals teacher. So here's the left side. Where's the right side? Here's the right side. So then now we're on this side. Let's try to lay this out roughly the way it looks. For that, I'm gonna look at the teacher app here on the PC, just so I can see what's going on. I should be able to run it from here. Oops, wrong port. Oh, oops, damn it. Oh, I stopped running this, didn't I? Let's rerun this. I lose all my browser windows. So we would be essentially not trading with anyone. So it's not like you're saying this is not especially realistic. No, it's not realistic. Let's run the and at the same time, the Washington Post reports that President Trump is considering scrapping a US trade deal with South Korea. The American ally. So here this side will run particles. And on this side we will run the teacher app. Again, I think it would have a negative impact on everything. Why can't I connect to this? Oh, because I'm running localhost. This is 192. So it's typical's teacher. Alright, so now I can see what's going on this side. Now what I'm going to try to do is roughly have this. So we have the control panel activities, we have the webcam buttons, particles, NPC count. Where's the scatter plot happen? Plotting controls, that's here. Oh, the rest of the stuff is on the other side. There's that ridiculous Illustrator cursor control. Idiots. Idiots! Other than this stuff is over here. Actually, this is not left and right. This is, let me rename that. This is, simulation control. Oh, this is one tab. And on this side, it's another tab. So now we have
People become more and more worried. How worrisome is this latest definition? They're all worrisome.
it's divided on this side.
Because their missiles get better. That's why they
Tab, if I look at the playback control tab, we have the button controls there, and then we have the comma controls on the other side.
There's no indication that they plan to. So they're all worrisome in the sense that it allows North Korea to attack us fast. But it's not an indication that they intend to attack us first. Did the UN Security Council meeting this morning give you any confidence in the international community's ability to address this? You know, one of the things that we do is we put sanctions on North Korea, and North Korea predictably meets that kind of pressure with shooting off the missiles and showing they're not going to back down. We then add more sanctions, and we just end up where we are, tit for tat. So I think, you know, sanctions and, you know, firm talk is fine for
foreign
consumption, but I don't think it solves the problem. So I don't think anything the UN is doing is moving us in the right direction.
Okay.
Dave Kang is director of the Korean Studies Institute at the
So now that we have these, let's align those.
My pleasure. Thank you.
Simulation control, this is a header. Header. So every time there's like something that contains something else, I'm going to give it a bold treatment. So this is so I'll be able to see the be able to see where the top level composite controls are, which will help me familiarize myself with them. Header.
You've been working as a meteorologist for years now. Does this feel different from anything else you've ever done?
Do I just do this? All right, let's.
But I'm just thinking in terms of the impact on you, the way people are depending on you, the way you become kind of a local hero through this.
Okay. So here's my UI outline. And so this is a teacher app. React. Y hierarchy. Okay. Let's print this sucker. Let me just export it first. I do that as a save a copy, as a PDF file. It should be called design. What do they call this again? Session. Oh shit, does this not save as? Fuck. Great. Alright, this is fucked. Because I thought I resaved this as a different file, but apparently I didn't. So I would have lost my source if I can't get enough undo buffers. And it looks like I don't have enough undo buffers. Oh, maybe not. Alright, you piece of shit. I could have sworn I did this. I guess I didn't. Did I not do this? Oh, it saved a copy and I didn't edit the copy. That's what happened. So it saved a copy but didn't switch over to the copy. I seem to recall this being an issue. Okay, so save this. And let's redo all this stuff we just did. Hope it's still here. At least the undo buffer seems big enough. Now we should be able to save a copy. Save as is what I should have done. That's what it was. Save as. So UI component outline. So save a copy. It was my fault. I wasn't thinking. So let's go back to here. Let's see if I can find that file. Don't need that. And let's do this. So now that we have this, and that still the wrong file. I did it again. So now we need to save a copy as this. So make sure I haven't lost the. Good, that still exists. I didn't lose it. I should save this just as a PDF file. Fully editable PDF file. Saves a step. Let's do the same thing with this. Session video. Let's get rid of this. It's deleting stuff over on the other screen. Session video outline. That's this file. Let's save this as a PDF file with all the editable stuff in it. So you have one file now. And where did the file go? Okay, now I have these two PDFs, and I'm going to copy these into the desktop someplace. So, let's see. I'll put that in Dropbox. In my projects folder. I suppose I should put it into the saved. One of the online drives, except there's like 3 of them. I can never remember which one is which. Docs, diagrams, or system diagrams. Okay, so now that I have this as a PDF, I can just print this. Alright, so now that is my reference. I see I kind of goofed it up already. Let's fix this. Open with Adobe Illustrator again. And let's space this thing out. What's this? What is this complaining? Have you tried the new fuck you, Illustrator? Get out of my now what? It's starting to hit the Alright, so let's group this thing up a bit better. That's weird. Why is this grabbing both of them? These are all part of the same group for some reason. Let's fix this formatting.
new jobs being created and old jobs being automated. And that's going to happen in the next 10 years. I wouldn't be surprised if 50% or more of the existing jobs had to change drastically or were eliminated, and hopefully another 50% of new jobs will be created at the same time. What do you see as
if
workforce that is least likely to change or least likely to disappear?
session end of file.
Are really bad. They've made tremendous advances, but they're bad at first off doing creative work. Whether you're an entrepreneur or a scientist or a novelist, I think you're in pretty good shape doing that long.
Can't see where the cursor is.
The second big category is interpersonal skills and emotional intelligence. People who
Okay, so now I can move these a little closer.
salespeople or negotiators or caregivers. And the third one is actually manual dexterity and physical mobility. Machines have a hard time doing simple things like picking up a nickel or walking up the stairs or clearing a table. And so jobs that depend on that will also be safe for a while. And I think the way we think about it,
I guess we could color code these too.
because almost every job has parts of them that are in one of those three categories, or maybe all three, and other parts that will be affected or even automated. It's interesting because when I think about how that translates to education, there's been such an emphasis on science and technology.
That's our blue, right?
Like you're saying, one of the sectors that's likely to be safest is sort of creative or even just liberal arts education. Absolutely. In fact, I think there's probably no better
This
time
is.
to be somebody with some real creative insight. And then the
I wish I got a regex.
the millions or
I
billions,
wonder if I can.
and people who combine some creativity with an understanding of the digital world are.
Event.
Would you say that blue-collar workers are generally more likely to be replaced by robots than white-collar workers? If you're so
Event.
people in manufacturing being replaced by automation.
Event.
Most blue-collar
It's got a bit of faster way of doing this.
less than 10% of Americans now work in the manufacturing sector.
Event.
Much of a blue-collar, white-collar division. The big ways would be more structured work versus less structured work, with more structured work being automated faster, and work that involves creativity.
So the purpose of this reference is to find a UI component, and instead of digging through the chain each time by starting at the beginning and then digging down and figuring out who controls what, I can look at this reference and go, oh, okay, I want the low only button. That's in control panel controls. And now I have a better working understanding of the UI, having outlined this. What I'm doing now is just bolding this in blue, so it's easier for me to scan the text. It's a little bit difficult otherwise. This is another speed read hack. I suppose another way of doing it would be, I don't know. So if you want a list that you can scan quickly, you want to have the left edge be all aligned. And since we don't actually have this unless I choose to space that out, using blue color coding is probably the next best thing. It just takes forever. It's technically, this may seem like something that's not necessary to do as part of the documentation, but my memory is really bad. If I don't do this, as I'm trying to design and code the feature, so much time and processing power in my head is going to go to just remembering where things are, that I'll slow like 10 times slower than if I have this. And again, it's another way of keeping track of the actual, or becoming familiar with the actual user interface. screw that up. Scatter charnators. I'm gonna ask Ben what the charnators are again. I think that was the idea of a data type and a presentation type. A combination of which makes a chartinator. I make these different colors to show that there are options. No, maybe not. I'm clicking on this and nothing's happening. Oh, did I just duplicate this? Oh, I didn't even get to the bottom one yet. A lot of these are common, so save myself a little time. So now the bottom one has to change, but these common controls are the same. Right up to here. Ah, crap. Capture a screenshot. So then all this stuff needs to change too. Oh, I wish I could assign a keyboard shortcut to this. I wonder if I could do that. Doesn't look like it. I guess I could make a macro for it. I wonder if there is a regex. Boo, 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 boo. Over here, I might as well rename this. This is like control label. Almost there. This should also help other people in the project just see where things are. So it would save them probably an hour. Annual space. Nice alignment, just roughly.
The Corps of Engineers began a very slow and gradual reduction releases for the Axel Barker dams last night.
Most other parts of Houston are drying out, and thousands of people are returning home. This is NPR.
It's 4:32. This is NHPR News. I'm Peter Biello. The fastest areas of job growth in the state since the recession have been in the lower paying fields. NHPR's Todd Bookman reports. A new study from the New Hampshire Fiscal Policy Institute finds that more than 20,000 jobs have been added in the fields of healthcare, administration, and hospitality.
Almost there.
Positions is lower than the state's average.
All right.
7 years, the report concludes
Let's space this out again.
state that pay below
Why that's selecting?
compared to those that pay above. One bright spot of data is that wage growth in the populated southern tier of New Hampshire is growing faster than the
Oops.
national average. For NHPR News,
These aren't grouped.
the United States Postal Service is honoring a New Hampshire man who has spent 6 decades working at a Felix Country Store in Barrington. The Postal Service is commemorating Joel Sherburne's tenure at the store with the keepsake picture postmark at the Barrington Post Office. Those who send mail from the post office on Thursday can get it marked with an image of a wheel of cheese and text commemorating Sherburne's anniversary. It was opened in 1869. Sherburne started in 1957 stocking shelves and bagging groceries. Those who can't make it on Thursday but still want the postmark can send a mail order request next month. And Vermont's early bear hunting season is now underway. The early season bear hunt began Friday and runs through the beginning of November, right with deer hunting season. The late bear season runs through the first 9 days of deer season. A separate early season bear hunting tag is required to hunt bear. Successful bear hunters are required to submit a bear tooth to the state so scientists can gather information about the population. For tonight, partly cloudy skies with lows in the mid-60s. For tomorrow, some thunderstorms in the afternoon with highs in the low 80s, mid-70s in the north. And for Wednesday, rain with some thunder on the seacoast, highs on Wednesday.
Okay, this should help a little bit.
This forecast on NHPR is made possible with support from the University of New Hampshire, and support for NHPR also comes from the law firm of Boringness.
Okay.
Excellence is
So now I should just go print this thing. So there's my reference. So review flow code diagram UI. It is now 4:35. Let's call it 4:30. So how long did that take? Took an hour and a quarter. So 60 plus 75 minutes. And I think that was worth doing.
Support for NPR comes from this station and from Visit St. Pete Clearwater.
Okay, let me go downstairs and get it.
Florida beaches and the Shrine St.
And
Petersburg Mural Festival
I will be right back.
featuring 40-year-old
Let's go to split view.
More at visitstpeteclearwater.com.
Ugh. Going downstairs to get the printer. Why did they put it downstairs? There was no room upstairs. And I guess I'm getting exercise. Ugh. It's much cooler down here. All right. So this is what we got right now. So that's what we're looking at here. So it should be able to help me out. And control, panel controls, gameplay, but I can see the overall structure. The bolded headers tell me what the composite things are. If it's not bolded, then it's a simple component, like toggle button. So, I think that works. And I think I need to take a break. But before I do that, let me look at the list. How does teacher, I didn't actually answer this question. How does teacher app Oops, that's the wrong button. I want this, I think. How does teacher app manage recorder state? The answer is, other than I don't know, let me think about this. So I want split aux, or split screen. Oh, is there no me plus screen? There's gotta be a me plus screen. Oh, here, this one. So anyway, so looking here, or actually I could just go to this view. Oh, I mean this view. And where am I gonna look? Alright. I need some coffee. I already forgot what I was saying. Good thing I wrote it down. How does teacher app manage recorder state? Well, now that I have this document, I can see that the recorder state is handled by something called game playback. Right here, it says so. So game playback. So I guess I'm looking to see how this thing actually receives messages. And I don't see how it's going. How does this get them? Yeah, this was written before our network protocol was really well documented. Well, it still isn't. So I recall that there was like something kind of fishy about this. This is the UI side of it, but where's the part that handles the recorder state? Okay, let's take a look and see what's here. These are just button handlers for a bunch of things. These are binding this to this constructor or this class instance. On play click. There's these props. These props I should probably look at. We can make a note of that. This is in game playback. Because I need to untangle this because I had to rewrite this code to use the recorder interface. Game playback, JSX prop list, and maybe the action creators. So these are handlers for each of the button clicks. Alright, so this is weird. So there must be something that's... Okay, these are the properties that matter here. Disabled is equal. So this, every time something changes, this should re-render. So, and Redux should be firing it somehow. But where is the state changing? That probably has to be happening all the way up in Particle Teachers JSX. I'm guessing, because that was the top level of the application. So let's see if that's right or not. Let me pin this thing down. Particles Teacher JSX, I'm guessing? No, maybe not. No. Maybe it's in simulation control? No, it would be in playback control. Somewhere there's something that taps into... I know know I know I've seen code before that actually is, okay, maybe it's on here, taps into the actual
Many of those voters were simply unhappy with Hillary Clinton. Someone says Democrats need candidates who can win those voters back at all levels.
there's a bunch of private methods that occur. Actually, maybe it's not even in here. Let's look at teacher or default particles. No, that makes no sense. Does it? Where is this being implemented? I know it's in here somewhere. Let's see if we can find it. Find in folder. How does this work? Oh, find. What are these options? Match case, match whole word, use regular expression. Let's see. I know that there is a. I think he's tapping directly into the recorder and recorder state. So if I look for anything that looks like recorder, that's probably. So we have game run. Let's see what's in here. Where is this? That's bees. I don't even know what this is doing here. This is bees to teacher. Definitions. Oh. Where is this happening? Well, this is 4 files. This is in game run just bees to teacher. We don't want that one. This is in game. This is like some bullshit file. I should delete this. It shouldn't even be there. That's gone now. And then this is just in a definitions file. That's odd. Maybe they're searching for mode play. Let's try that again. What is this? This is in, again, bees to teacher. Particles teacher. This is in where? This looks like... Wasn't I just looking at this? Oh, this got converted to... Yeah, this is where... Get server plots, recorder on state change. How does, so the answer to that question, how does teacher app manage recorder state? Default particles. No, wait. This is actually particles teacher. Particles teacher on recorder state change. This recorder mode, this recorder state change mode, store dispatch. Okay, so this is where all the high level stuff happens. This is the React component. This is the... Is this really... Oh, this is game run.js. Alright, okay. This is an... I'm starting to lose my focus. I need to take a break. Particles teacher. Teacher. Game run. That creates a React component. This should really be called game run JSX now. But I haven't converted any of these yet. And this creates what? This is the top level. And I was here before, wasn't I? Yeah, because the render only returns this. Yeah. So duh. So maybe what I had to do here is this is particles or game run. Oh, screw it. Let's do this in Illustrator. Illustrator. Let's create cloud running. Do we still have audio? Looks like we do. Look for handlers for recorder mode. And I want this file. And while I'm in here, I want to fix some spacing issues. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. This is all like visual hierarchy stuff. So then here, what I want to put up here is another line of text. Oops. So what I want to say is default, or it'll be under particles, teacher, game run, JS, loads, particle, teacher, JSX, which creates the following tabs.
It's all things considered from NPR News. I'm Ari Shapiro. One of the most
React.
poets of the 20th century is gone. John Ashbery won every major prize, including a Pulitzer and a National Book Award, along with a so-called MacArthur Genius Grant, for more than 20 volumes of poetry. He died yesterday from natural causes at the age of 90. Uncle Polly has his appreciation.
John Ashbery's experimental modernist poetry often confounded readers, but in 1986, Ashbery told me the way to read his poetry was not to analyze it, but in his words, to bathe in it.
When I get out of poetry when I read it, it's just for pure pleasure.
And then on this other side, maybe I can just put some notes.
In his work, Ashbery paired colloquial speech with disjointed, dreamlike imagery. His poem, Some Money, begins like this.
They said I'm awkward. They said we make fools of our lives.
Notes.
For a little money and a coat. The great tree once grown, that's over. I said you can catch all kinds of weird activities.
The next thought is not the thought that you would have expected. The next word isn't the word that you would have expected, and it's better for it.
New biography of John Ashbery called The Songs of
Game,
Respect.
oops.
She says by not writing
Game run JS has all the top level handlers that are referred to in child components. The recorder, the duplicate recorder is located here.
Burned its image into the sky like smoke. All was gold and shiny in the clean parlor. In the pigsty outside it was winter, however.
rural imagery is a recurring
as well as the major props. We're changing a property here. On the top of our UI. Event handlers. I think that's enough. Leave it out here. Okay. So does it look better? Checking spacing. So okay, so this is going to be another working document. So we quit from that. And we go back to here, session UI components. Let's print out the new one. Let's get rid of this. Did it actually do anything? We will get it. Here we are. All right, so this is my reference. So some of the mysterious parts is like just the way that React and Redux move stuff around. Anyway, so I guess I have. What time is it now? It's almost 5. So how many hours today? 2.5 hours. That's 1 hour more than my minimum billable. So I think I'm going to take a break from this. So I think that's it for now. Thanks for hanging out, watching me do boring stuff. Got farther than I would have done it by myself. So maybe y'all watching this can use it for when you're stuck on something. And just need to feel that someone else. Sharing violation. That's weird. Why am I getting a sharing violation? Let's have this open twice. I don't know if Excel would even let me do that. I think it's just confused. Alright, so anyway, I'm done with that. And I am going to call it a day for now and maybe eat something or, I don't know, something different than this. So I'll see you later. Noink. Let's wait for this video to end, then I can shut this thing off. Monitor on this side. I don't know, something different from this. So I'll see you later.